Hello everyone, I hope all of you are great and safe. Welcome to Social Studies with Shreya. In the previous video we have discussed about the Delhi Sultans, different dynasty under the Delhi Sultans, and also the rulers, different rulers and important rulers and their journey under the different dynasties. So now we will discuss about the Sultan administration, under which we will know the different position of Sultan dynasty, then the division of the empire, okay, then different departments under the administration, how their administration works, agriculture rules, taxation rules, and the last not the least, how this Sultan dynasty fall apart or the downfall of the Sultan. So first we will understand that Sultan is the highest administration position or highest position in Delhi Sultan dynasties, and he it is believed that according to the divine right of kingship, that they believed the Sultan is the another form of God. They compared the Delhi Sultan as the representative of their God, and the Sultan is assisted by two persons. One is noble, one is ulema. Noble assisted and suggest Sultan matters related to war, administration and all, and ulemas discussed and suggested different matters related to religion and also judicials. Okay, and the last thing, this Sultan started two different rituals, that is sajda and paibos, that is the assertion of his that means the Sultan's superiority. Okay, this is the different thing about Sultan dynasty. Now we will understand about the division of the empire. So the Delhi Sultan areas, that means the area that is occupied by different dynasty of Delhi Sultan, was subdivided into smaller areas, and these smaller areas are called as iqtas, okay, or different provinces. Okay, these provinces called iqtas is again subdivided into smaller areas called sikdars, and these sikdars again subdivided into much smaller areas called shiks. Then the shiks is again subdivided into parganas. These parganas are under the rule of amils. Parganas are the combination, or parganas mainly consisted with 3 or 4 or number of villages. So this number of villages togetherly we called at Delhi Sultan times parganas. Some of the parganas, if we accumulate some of the parganas, we can have shiks. If we accumulate 2-3 shiks areas, then we have the sikdars. If we collect all the sikdars, we have the iqtas. So iqtas, sikdars, shiks, parganas, these are the 4 division of area. It's kind of similar to India's empire division also, like central, then states, then districts, then municipality or the village areas, that is panchayats. It's like the 4 tier criteria, like we are following right now also. So our history influence our present day also. This proves us. Beside that, the pargana or these villages are having a headman called as muqaddam, and there are 2 persons who collect the taxes. The munsi collect the taxes of land related, and the patwari person, the position of patwari, kept all the land records. So in Delhi Sultan time, we have three main administration or 3 department of administration. Like suppose in India right now we have health departments, we have economic departments, we have education departments, like that. In that time they had 3 different departments. The wazir, who is headed by the Diwane Wazir, look after one department which is related to income, expenditure, collection, revenue, overall mainly the finance matter. So the finance matter was looked after by the Wazir. Okay. Then we have Ariz-e-Mumlik. Ariz-e-Mumlik is all related with that department where they look after the army, the military affairs. So they look after the army things, is called as Ariz-e-Mumlik. Then the last department is the chief sadar or the chief qazi. they look after about the charities or the Department of Justice. So this called as Chief Sadr or Chief Qazi. So how many departments we have? First one is headed by Wazir, Diwan-e-Wazirat. Then we have Ariz-e-Mumlak and we have Sadr. One is financial, one is army, and the third is justice or charity. Finish. Now we will discuss about the agricultural rules or taxation rules related to agriculture. So in ICTA, that is the superior part of the, we talked about now, ICTA, Sikdar, Sikhs and all. The ICTA, the smaller regions, are mainly followed these agricultural rules. So ICTA were in charge, and ICTA's agricultural taxes are collected by the higher position authorities of Delhi Sultan, like the Senapati or Wazir. They are the head of these smaller regions of ICTAs. So they are collecting the agricultural tax, and after ICTA, the smaller areas like Sikdars or Sikhs or the Parganas were supered or the look after by the person, different army person, those who don't have any relation of the administration. They look after and collect the tax related to the smaller areas, and they also have different tax for the peasants, that means the farmers, like the Kharaj means land tax, Ghari means house tax, and Charai means cattle tax. Charai karna na, so cattle tax. So they have three type of tax for farmers only: land tax, then house tax, and cattle tax also. Then beside this, peasants sometimes have to face different type of high and low amount of tax, because according to the ruler. Like in the time of Alauddin Khilji, the tax was, or the revenue was measured on the basis of the measurement of the land. If the land is bigger, then the tax is higher. If the land is smaller of any farmer, then the tax is lower than the bigger lands. In Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, among the Tughlaq dynasty, the revenue or the tax was based under the crop sharing. So how many crops are going to the royal or the Delhi Sultans going as a tax, and how many they have for their own surviving. So according to this share, they have separated the revenues. But many corrupt leaders are there who not only disturb the peasants, they also tortured them for this taxation. So now we'll discuss about the how this Sultan dynasty fall apart. But what are the drawbacks of this Sultan dynasty? Okay, so the first thing, there are different type of rulers who are not capable enough to rule the larger areas of Delhi Sultanates or the India, all over India, which was captured by the Delhi Sultans, because they are not they can't protect their area from the invaders, like foreign invaders like Mongols. They can't stop the revolts, the inside revolts from the local kings or the local rulers. So they couldn't properly manage their area. So this is the one reason. Second is the ICTA system. In ICTA system, the sultans are dependent on the wazir or other higher authorities, superintendents and all. So they are dependent on their employees. So in this way, they don't have their own power to decide any important rules or any important decision. So they are dependent on their employees. This hampered this Sultan dynasty. Another thing is, they didn't follow the law of primogeniture. Okay, what this is law, where after the Sultan dies, the eldest son will be the father of the eldest son will be the next ruler. So this law they didn't follow. That's why sometimes their cousins, sometimes other ICTA's rulers captured the Sultan dynasty or named after themselves. In this way, in this disrupt way, the Sultan dynasty finished, and these are the drawbacks of the Sultan dynasty. In this way, I have completed the Sultan dynasty, Delhi Sultans. And after, in the first battle of Panipat, Babur defeated whom? Ibrahim Lodi, the last person of Lodi dynasty and the last person of Delhi Sultans also. And after that, the Mughal dynasty started. Thank you. I hope this video will help you. Stay safe.